The Kyrie situation can be a major problem. Let's see what this is talking about.
New report on Kyrie Irving. Looks great on the surface, but could easily be the first domino of a disaster. Mark Spears of ESPN says, Kyrie's looking good, ahead of schedule to return from his ACL. He's working out with the purpose of playing this season, which I'm sure Mavs fans are glad to hear. Probably late January, All-Star break. Awesome. But we kind of already knew about the All-Star break. Then it gets crazy. Someone close to him told me that if it were the playoffs, he could play right now. That's how ahead of schedule he is. What? Oh. Kyrie could be on the floor 7 months after tearing his ACL. That is unheard of. Kyrie is...
Yeah, ACL it's a very serious injury. The fact that this guy... But also, he takes care of himself with a lot of juicing and different things. Like, you never know what this dude might be on. He might be in meditation, form, what I'm saying? Monk mode form. You never know, man. That dude be going out overseas over there, them temples and shit. So, you never know.
32, coming off an ACL. Rehabbing faster than anyone expected. How is that bad? Well, the Mavericks have to tank to maximize their draft pick, yes. But it goes way deeper than that. This Kyrie news could set off a chain reaction of trouble. Like just when Cooper Flagg thinks the Nico Harrison drama is over, he walks into a whole other mess. Can the kid get a break? Because Kyrie is key to what comes next. But I am so jealous. You guys know that I've been a little sick, so my wife went to the game and not me. Look at these pictures she took of the fans. Kevin Durant.
I'm gonna fast forward because I think it's an ad. But yo, shout out to him getting his money. If you guys want to hit a like button and you want to watch more content of basketball, just, hit that subscribe button.
To get him. Spurs got lucky. Warriors. Many times, NBA teams get lucky with their franchise player. Like the Warriors got lucky, Steph fell in the draft to 9th for them to get him. Spurs got lucky, landing the #1 pick in the Tim Duncan draft. But it's what they do after getting that superstar that really counts. What separates good franchises from bad ones. In the Warriors and Spurs case, they both expertly built rosters around their star that unlocked a dynasty. But in other cases, like the Cavaliers around LeBron in 03, or the Timberwolves around Kevin Garnett, the team wasted an all-time talent. So which one are the Mavs going to be with Cooper Flagg? Are they going to waste 2 franchise players? First Luka, now Cooper? Well, it all hinges on what they do these next few months. That is how big this is. How big the GM hire is too, by the way. It can make or break Coop's entire Mavs career. So the first thing is the draft pick. Well, building around Luka, Nico Harrison...
Dude, I forgot how deep this guy goes with the picks and stuff. Like, oh my shit. Okay, let's go.
Did all their picks until 2031 outside of this year. So Coop was dropped into a win-now team. Only problem was they suck. All Nico got to replace Kyrie was D'Angelo Russell, so Jason Kidd played his rookie at point guard, at a position set up to fail. Coop faced elite defenders, had no one to set him up in good positions, which led to the worst offense in the NBA. I'm talking a 103.2 offensive rating. Gotta go back to 2021 to find something worse. Now the good news is Kidd bailed on point Cooper, moved him to small forward. Since then, his numbers have bumped across the board.
You say you had to go back to 2021 to find some words for the offense.
Him to small forward. Since then, his numbers have bumped across the board. Even assists have stayed the same. Against Portland late, Coop double team spins over Deni Avdija to tie the game. He then goes at all defense to Monty Kamara to send the game to OT at the line. At 18 years old, so things are looking up. But here's the problem. Even with Cooper looking better, the team can't just decide to tank, okay? Tanking is tough. You have to be bad all the time. The Mavs aren't bad enough. I mean, look around the league. Washington, historically awful. Brooklyn can't defend a high school team. Indiana in a full-on teardown. These teams are trying to lose. They're naturally terrible. Dallas has to work to be this bad. And that's the danger. If the Mavericks don't stack losses now, they fall into the dreaded middle of the first round zone, where you get no star, no chance of a real help next to Cooper. And unlike those other teams, Dallas can't take their time. They don't own a pick again till 2031. This is their one bullet. So these tiny improvements, like moving Cooper to small forward, getting a little healthier, getting Kyrie back, those things are good, but they're also catastrophic if you're trying to land a franchise-shifting player.
Did you hear that? That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Because if you're trying to build a future team, because Kyrie will probably be leaving here, you know what I'm saying? And, it's not guaranteed he's going to stay there, right? He could float in and out, or he might retire later on in the future. And you're not trying to build your team just on these guys. You need more young players that have a future they can invest into and build something so they have a new, a better new team they can win championships potentially and invest into, like the Golden States,
You literally cannot afford to mess up a single week of the season. One low win streak, one stretch of confidence, boom, suddenly picking 11th instead of 3rd. And that's the difference between getting a guy who helps Cooper win a ring and getting a guy who's like out of the league in 4 years. This is why the Mavericks are terrified. It is the worst position an NBA franchise can be in. So what do? We'll hold Anthony Davis back. Yeah, he's set back, another 5 days here, 10 days there, but you can only do that for so long. Because Mark Stein reports, the general consensus league-wide is that Davis is going to have to put together a sustained stretch of productive basketball in December and January to generate the sort of interest that Dallas is hoping for. And that is the second part. Because outside of the draft pick, you have to nail this Anthony Davis trade to set Cooper up for success. Now, one solution would be to ask Davis to shut it down all year. Tank now, trade later. But there is no way he would go for that. AD is 32 years old. You think he's going to waste maybe the last year of his prime on the couch? Plus, he's eligible for an extension next offseason. Same for Kyrie. No extension, but dude wants to play.
They're going to have to bow him out, bro.
Remember, Spears said, someone close to Kyrie told me if it were the playoffs, he could play right now. That's how ahead of schedule he is. I hear he wants to be back and he's ready. Now you're going to ask him to shut it down for the season. I am sorry, but both of these guys have a history of demanding a trade. And if the Mavs want to protect that draft pick, they've got a problem. Play the stars and risk a terrible pick, or shut the stars down and risk a mutiny. They've already had a hell of a time with this Nico Harrison mess. I wouldn't put it past AD and Kyrie to say, get me out of here. Oh, but that would never happen. Kyrie's so happy in Dallas. What makes you think it's any different? Kyrie in Cleveland didn't like LeBron, so he asked out. Boston didn't like the fit, so he left. Brooklyn didn't like the vibes, so he asked out. Now in Dallas, who he's happy with Luka Doncic. What happens when Kyrie realizes he's now a mentor for Cooper Flagg? Is that really what he wants for his last chapter, really? Dude may be 32 off an ACL, but still an elite ball handler, shot maker. And now he's just gonna be another mentor to young guys like the new Chris Paul. Really? You can easily see a world where he wants to move on, especially if they then ask him to shut it down while healthy. That's why Kyrie being ahead of schedule is low-key the worst news possible. It forces the Mavericks into a decision they cannot win. Let him play and ruin the tank, or sit him and risk ruining the relationship. And that's another problem in building around Cooper. They don't have the pick for next year, so not only do they need to trade vets to tank now, but keep enough talent to be good next year. Wow, I feel bad for whoever gets this GM job long term, because it's like team building on hard mode. So let's be clear on why the Kyrie news is bad. The Mavericks are now sitting at the most important stretch of decision-making in the Cooper Flagg era. They have to protect that 2026 pick like their franchise depends on it, because it does.
Which is coming up, you know what I'm saying? That's coming up. That will be around the corner as soon as you know it.
They have to nail the Anthony Davis trade, not just dump him. And they have to survive these next few months without alienating the only veteran talent they have left.
That's going to be kind of crazy, bro. I don't know how they're going to do it. I think what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to let their players, their stars play, but maybe restrict some of the offense from the other players that are not stars. That way, they still get the rating of looking good, but they still just don't get the wins that they don't need to stack on to be able to cross over to get those picks. You know what I'm saying? For the draft.
Kyrie is sprinting through his ACL rehab, should be good, but instead, it's just another complication for a front office that is already drowning in them. Dallas doesn't have room for one more misstep, one more complication. They already burned Luka's prime. If they mishandle this stretch, they also risk burning Cooper Flagg's before it even gets started. But one thing you guys always comment to me is you want two things in a video. You want positive videos about the game, and small market teams who are good. Like
All right. Well, look, shout out to this guy. I'm also have his link in the description. I like watching his videos because he kind of breaks it down in a way that makes sense, where you look at it as into a GM perspective, numbers wise. He does really good breaking it down in that way, and I learned some in a perspective, not just the front value of what we see on a regular basis with highlights and stuff, but more so other technical things. So yeah, man, guy's dope, and shout out to him. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.